How's it going? Welcome back to another great video. I'm so excited because this game, holy goddamn moly, okay? This has been like the pinnacle example of what a game should be, okay? This game has done a massive transformation, a complete 180, and it's actually the game that was now promised. No Man's Sky actually now is better than what was promised originally, which is quite a big statement.
Will I get bored playing this game?
Yeah.
Can I teleport back to my ship?
No.
Have you found a planet that you'd prefer to live on instead of Earth?
No.
Can you collect plants in this game?
No.
Will the game be fun?
And the crazy thing is all of these updates that have come out over the years have been free. So welcome back to another great video with the majestic host, the Savior, and this is a very special video because yes, I am talking about No Man's Sky in 2024. This is my special No Man's Sky 2024 review. I have been playing the hell out of this new update of No Man's Sky, and this update isn't just a normal update, okay? This changes everything. No Man's Sky in 2024 is just so crazy to me because this game truly has shown the, AAA games out there that this is how you fix a game. This is how you deliver on what was promised. Instead of these early access titles that never get, a full release, or these live service games that expect you to shell out tons of money. No, this is how it should be. Obviously, it would have been amazing if it was like this on day one, but the fact that the, Hello Games team have committed to this project, they've stayed with it, they've updated it over time, and now it's to a point where it's literally, basically what Starfield originally promised. I'm literally melting recording this video because it is hot as balls in Japan right now. So let's discuss No Man's Sky in 2024, okay? This is my No Man's Sky 2024 review, and honestly, this game, I think now it is reaching its end life. This game just surprises everyone because just when you think it's dead, it just keeps giving, and it's so much better compared to like live service games. This is, just made by a dedicated team that wanted to actually fulfill their original promise, and you've just got to give props to that. You can tell they're passionate about this game. This is AA gaming at its finest, smaller teams that can actually communicate with each other, that actually can share the same original creative vision. That's what gaming should be. That's how, innovative ideas do come about.
Oceans have waves, reflections, and more variety. Planets have wind patterns. Waves are dynamic and react to weather. On the surface of the planet, there are new volumetrics and atmospherics.
So welcome back, my wonderful wise ones. If you're new to the channel, which is highly likely, and you're not a wise one yet, do so. Yes, that's what I said. Make sure you do become a wise one today by going down below and hitting the subscribe button, okay? It only takes you 2 seconds, literally 2 seconds. Honestly, thank you so much if you are subscribing, and to the returning wise ones, thank you so much for coming back. I'm so passionate about this community, creating content for you guys. If you like gaming analysis, deep looks at video games, their themes and their gameplay, and more of a philosophical lens on them as well, deep yearly reviews and philosophical videos, you're in the right place. I just absolutely love to analyze, media that I love, so make sure that you do subscribe to the channel and consider supporting me as I am transitioning into full-time as of right now. I left my job, which is crazy because it's been quite a difficult ride this last month, but I can only do this with your support, so please do consider subscribing or dropping a donation if you do enjoy this content. I can honestly see why people prefer No Man's Sky compared to Starfield. The space exploration now has just become so good in No Man's Sky. So today I'm going to go over everything in this new update, okay, and give you the No Man's Sky World's review, okay, because this update is not just an update, it's kind of like the big refresh they did for the next gen, now kind of as a final, you know, kind of No Man's Sky update pretty much, because they are bringing stuff from their new game and actually porting it over into No Man's Sky. Not many developers do that because they want you to, you know, buy the new game to see the new technology, but they love this game so much that they're actually taking some ideas from their new game and bringing it back into No Man's Sky, and that's just so crazy to me. You know, this is how gaming should be, not about greed, but just making something you're passionate about, and then for people who like it, can actually, you know, see that, and hopefully it gets an audience. It shouldn't always be about capturing the biggest audience as possible. That's what I like to do as well on YouTube. I'm not going to be Jimmy Beast over here making the best possible content on YouTube. I just want to talk about what I'm passionate about, have that OG YouTube feel. Absolutely crazy stuff that they've done with No Man's Sky. In 2024, No Man's Sky has just become a completely different beast. Now, I will say, because I've been playing it over this last day, just non-stop, just to try and get this review out, No Man's Sky has just become absolutely insane. And for this No Man's Sky 2024 review, I'm going to go over some details that I love, what make this game stand out compared to something like Starfield. And this is where, you know, space games should be heading towards in the future. Obviously, they're very different games, and, you know, Starfield does do a lot right, even though a lot of people hate it. But playing the new update really made me think, like, okay, this is how space exploration should be feeling. So the first big thing that I want to talk about is just the added details, okay? Now, I'm not a graphics person. I don't think graphics make good games. In fact, it's the opposite. The reason we get games now taking so goddamn long to be made is because the fixation of hyper-realistic graphics, you know, super detailed environments. I want to go back to the older days where it wasn't about fidelity, it was about actual gameplay, physics in the games. You know, think of Far Cry 2 and similar games like GTA 4, for example. Games that actually have cool mechanics in them, not so much, you know, worrying about the peach fuzz on someone's face or their goddamn ass taint hair. That's not what we need to focus on, okay guys? No Man's Sky already had quite a unique aesthetic and art style to it, and it did get a next gen kind of bump up, but now this new update is just goddamn breathtaking, I've got to say, okay? So everything is way more fleshed out, the foliage is much more detailed. Think of the next gen version of The Witcher 3, that's kind of what we're getting here. Better volumetric lighting, better shadows, like I said, denser foliage, and kind of added effects like mist and kind of particle effects that just make exploration and the weather system feel much more alive. And I hadn't touched No Man's Sky apart from, you know, doing my review last year, kind of briefly playing it, but I hadn't really got back into it. I was just doing it for a video. I'm definitely going to be playing it now a lot because I was so blown away by the amount of immersion in this game now and how much it's different compared to on launch. You know, seeing these goddamn space worms tunnel into planets. When you're flying around into space, you can find like nebula storms and all of this kind of crazy stuff. The clouds look better, and now water is insane, okay? They've actually built a sea system, like Sea of Thieves, almost that level of detail into No Man's Sky. So now the seas actually have proper waves, ocean exploring just looks absolutely insane. You can land on the water. All of this great stuff just makes the game feel much more alive and immersive, and, you know, that's something I feel Starfield did pretty good at, you know, the weather systems and making you feel like you're really on a alien planet, but just pretty bad space exploration and all that kind of stuff. And it was just missing a lot. But now No Man's Sky has that level of quality of, you know, feeling like you're truly on an alien world, not just like a world within our solar system. The next big thing that they added is this whole new expedition kind of quest line, very Starship Troopers inspired, which is pretty cool. They've actually added a whole new enemy type, and they are designed as an enemy type, not just, you know, the predators that you normally get in No Man's Sky, which do look pretty janky. I've got to say that still does feel kind of last gen. Just how the aliens are kind of copy and pasted together. They still don't look amazing, but these new bug aliens look absolutely fantastic, and the newer species, I haven't seen them all obviously, but they do look pretty cool and well designed. But I like how they've actually made them into proper enemies, and you can now go and like blast space bugs which is very Starship Troopers, and honestly, you have to do your service.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part. I didn't do fucking shit!
It's pretty cool and satisfying because they actually get, you know, ripped apart, very reminiscent of Starship Troopers, so that's a whole new added thing. I just think they've added so much to this game now, you know, VR support, which is absolutely insane, the fact that you can do lots of different expeditions and mission types within the world, and a big thing for me, because I didn't really have the patience for No Man's Sky. You know, I want to play games that feel like they respect my time, or feels like I'm getting a deep narrative or something or value out of it. You know, something like Fallout New Vegas, for example, where I feel like I'm learning about different tribes or different ideologies and philosophies and stuff like that. No Man's Sky is all about exploration, and a lot of it was grindy, but now you can really tweak it because of the customization options, okay? To me, customization makes all of the difference. So if you don't want to grind endlessly for resources, you can now change that. If you want to make the enemies less aggressive or deal more damage, you can also do that, and that speeds up some of the gameplay that I don't like in No Man's Sky, which is the grinding, and then I can focus more on the expeditions and the mission type content, unraveling the mystery of the main game, learning, you know, different dialects and studying different races and kind of building up my knowledge of them. That's what I find enjoyable, and learning the language. So many cool stuff in No Man's Sky that really makes it feel like it is like a Star Trek inspired universe, and that's, you know, good quality sci-fi. And I don't want to, you know, compare it a lot to Starfield, but obviously a lot of people will be, especially with this update. This is honestly, you know, a space opera exploration game, and it does space exploration right. It doesn't really have a strong narrative, it doesn't really have any RPG roots, but it's not trying to be. They do have a lot of things in common, like mining, resources, building bases, but in all of that aspect, I think No Man's Sky does a lot better. But obviously combat is a lot better in Starfield, for example. So that's some of the stuff that I enjoy about No Man's Sky in 2024. And bear in mind, this is a No Man's Sky 2024 update and primarily a No Man's Sky world review, okay? Because the No Man's Sky Worlds has changed the game, and I honestly think this is the end cycle of the game, but it truly makes it feel complete. So they've even added new world types, so the diversity is just so much better. Because on release, it was very, very disappointing. You would land on a barren rock, and it pretty much, that's all there is. Everything was, you know, randomly generated. You could kind of see the pieces being stitched together. No Man's Sky still has that sometimes, like when you shoot an asteroid, it kind of, you know, it doesn't actually react how you think it would, like it doesn't float off in space, it's kind of all stitched together. Sometimes even when you land on a planet, you can see the kind of big squares loading in, but still the technology is impressive, and the world diversity really makes you feel like, okay, this is now a next-gen, you know, exploration sci-fi game, because they've added things like floating islands, you know, these weird underwater worlds now, with much more detail to them, different plant life, different animal life, and different like gravitational effects and anomalies that you'll encounter in space and on planets. To me, that really makes it much more exciting, because that's what makes, you know, traveling the universe feel much more alive. The crazy thing is those bastards have actually added, like I said, sea physics in the game. So I love exploring underwater, and it reminds me, you know, of the best games like Subnautica. Now you can really get lost in both types of worlds. You know, this is how a space game should be. If it had a full story and a full, you know, kind of RPG side of it on top of it, this game would just be, you know, above everything else. But for what it is, I still think it's amazing, and you can play it in many different ways as a relaxing creative experience similar to Minecraft, survival, hardcore survival, or, you know, just as it was intended before. So there's lots of different ways to play this game. It truly is a sandbox. But yes, actually wind affects the worlds now. Volumetric clouds, they all react realistically, which is insane. And the sea actually reacts depending on, you know, the Earth's atmosphere and wind and all that kind of stuff, and the waves will change. It just makes this feel alive, and that's what I want. I want to land on an alien planet and feel, you know, lost and confused and surrounded in this atmosphere. That's good sci-fi, okay? Games that don't always tell you the story are some of the best experiences. For me, Dark Souls being one of my favorite games ever to be made, because I want my imagination to run wild. I want to, explore a creative space, and fiction is where innovation, human innovation, can come from, and how we progress forwards as a humanity. If you just look at sci-fi and how many of those weird inventions have actually come true because they are inspired. And a game like this truly makes you think and wonder. They've even added things like Sub-Zero worlds, new mechs, and it basically takes an extreme environment and makes it even more extreme. So basically just diversity of the planets. Yes, diversity, guys. That's right. These planets are now so diverse, and it makes them just a treat to explore. I just wish for new players, it's so slow getting off the ground, getting things rolling, and that is a frustrating experience. I still think the UI design is kind of bad in No Man's Sky. There's a couple of things I don't like, the clunky movement of the characters and stuff like that. But honestly, the fact that they've just continued to work on this game, and this is for free. So I just want to highlight absolutely everything in No Man's Sky Worlds, give you a full No Man's Sky Worlds review, because what they've added here truly makes it feel like a new game. And that's exactly what we need to highlight. That's where modern day gaming needs to head towards, okay? That's where we can get creativity back. So many cool things like fog, big thunderstorms now, windstorms, all of this stuff that just makes it feel much more alive. The fact that, now you can customize your armor more. Everything is customizable in this game, and the ecosystem is still very good. I wish there was still much more of a focus on combat. They have added new weapons to the games, and like I said, with No Man's Sky Worlds, there is this now new enemy that you can fight, but still it all feels a little bit clunky. But when you look at all of the updates from, when it first started, and now No Man's Sky in 2024, there's still so much content to engage with. And although it doesn't, basically make every one of these, and although some of the updates, try and capture like a cosmic horror vibe, or like this, a kind of Starship Trooper vibe, and although, they're not redesigning the game from scratch, so you can't expect it to be, a whole new game, the fact that they're still trying to tackle different ideas within this one game, this one galaxy, that was always their vision, and I think that does have to be commended. I mean, for God's sake, there's even underwater bases now, so it can be fully like Subnautica in some ways. And just so many cool, crazy ideas that they've got a lot of inspiration from other games, like, literally walking sentient bases, and just so much variation with the gameplay now. If you want to be a trader, you can do that. If you want to be just a simple asteroid miner, you can do that. I just wish there was a way to make this game feel more alive and the NPCs more realized, more quests given to you that actually feel, just a little bit more immersive. It's just lacking that immersion with like this being a proper world universe that I think Starfield does do better. But honestly, the exploration, everything else is just so good in No Man's Sky now, and I'm absolutely blown away. There's radiation worlds now, toxic worlds, waters have different color effects, the same with the skies, like you're goddamn tripping on acid. So many things like desolate worlds now, so many new alien encounters that you can have. And the only thing that they really need to overhaul is like a job, class-based system. And you can do that to some degree, but it is more a sandbox game. But honestly, for what it is, I think No Man's Sky is the perfect exploration sci-fi game now. And they've just added so much to make it truly feel next gen. And I just can't wait for everyone to experience it. So that is No Man's Sky Worlds review in 2024. The No Man's Sky 5.0 update. And I do think that this is now, closing off. This is becoming the end cycle of this game, and we're going to look further. And honestly, I have a lot of hope for these developers, and I hope they just make their worlds feel a little bit more interconnected. And if they can do that with the next game, I'm so looking forward to whatever Hello Games makes in the future. I'm just glad to see that creativity isn't dead yet, and honestly, the gaming industry as it stands right now is very scary, because it takes so much time for these games to be made. A lot of them are trying to force modern, real-world ideas like into games. It's the same with all fiction right now, and it's just nice to see something truly innovative and truly something that you can tell passionate people are working on. This is what we need more of, and this is actually a way that everyone can kind of come together and see you know, this is what gaming is about. It's not about, you know, the kind of hot takes and everyone fighting over this game is better or this console is better. It's just about good quality work and creating something with a vision. That's what I think is impressive about this studio and No Man's Sky, and it's all free, and you've just got to commend that. So I do hope you enjoyed this No Man's Sky 2024 review, this No Man's Sky World review, because this truly is feeling like a next game. This truly is now feeling like a next-gen game and a new game in many ways. And for people who've never played No Man's Sky, holy shit, like me to a degree, because I haven't touched it in a long time properly, I think now is the perfect time and you're going to be blown away. So thank you so much for watching the video. Make sure you are subscribing if you are new, and perhaps leave a donation. I would appreciate it a lot, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day. Peace out.